Yes, I am. I'll wait 30. Okay, it is 6:32. I am going to call the June 7th, 2022 Board of Public Works and Utilities meetings to order. We'll start with roll. So Mayor Kim Smith. Alder Larry Jurassic. Present. Jared Holter. Here. Karen Markart.
Here.
And myself, Stephen Knott, is also present. Next order of business is consideration and action on minutes from the previous meeting. I'll entertain a motion.
I'll move to approve the minutes from the previous meeting.
Second. We have a motion to approve by Mayor Smith and a second by Alder Jurassic. Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Item number 3 is public input. Anyone wishing to provide public input will be limited to 3 minutes. If you wish to speak, please identify yourself by your name and your address. Would anyone like to provide public input? Second call for public input. Anybody online? No. Third and final call for public input. Public input is closed. Item number 4. Consumer Confidence Report for City Waterworks. Jared.
Thank you. In your packet tonight, we do have the 2021 Consumer Confidence Report for the Onalaska Waterworks. This is a mandated form that must be filled out every year by the Wisconsin DNR requiring this. This will be included within the next water bill that will be going out to our customers, and also will be posted on the city website, which will both meet the requirements that are needed for the posting of this. This consumer confidence report for 2021 is very similar to previous years. There's no exceedances of maximum contaminant levels and no violations noted. I would note that at the top of the consumer confidence report, the opportunity for input on decisions affecting your water quality does list the Board of Public Works meeting as an avenue for people to give input if they have any. So I guess with that, I just opened up for questions and let everyone know that we're going to be sending it out to the public.
Larry.
Looking over the information here, it says the sample dates are all 2020. Should they be newer?
Some of these samples are not actually taken every year, so that's the reason some of the samples are actually only taken every other year. So these are the most recent samples that we have. If you actually go down to the aluminum chloride, manganese, and things, there's some of those are 2017. So is that your question?
Well, that's what I was wondering, if there should be newer than 2020.
No, we don't. We're not mandated to take all the samples every year. It's just like this UCMR 4 page. It's on the back. This is was taken in 2020. So this is the unregulated contaminant monitoring rules that the federal government passes along. UCMR 5 will be coming out in the next couple of years. So we'll have one that will replace this in probably 2024 probably. So not all these samples are required to be taken every year. We always post the most recent data that we have. We do have required sampling through the DNR that we do every year for certain items like back T sampling and things like that are done monthly. So, but for what's included in this report, we just put our most recent data in.
The bottom line is you're in compliance.
Correct.
Okay. And I guess I would like just a question of clarification. Under all of these contaminants that are reported on this, there is a column labeled violation, all of which, by the way, are no. So that's good, but assuming it could also be yes if it wasn't good, with the exception of the ones you actually just mentioned, the aluminum chloride, manganese, silver sulfate, and zinc. That gives sample variances, I guess. Why is that? Why are those not listed as violation or not?
Because they're a secondary contaminant, so there is no, like manganese is for it's more to aesthetics than it is. So the ones that you see above are the actual regulated compounds, more so than the ones that you see in that last list that you're referring to.
Okay. So they're just reported by that range, but I'm just curious, what is the range that's allowed? Am I missing that on there somewhere?
It's in the fifth column over. There's a range
Okay,
that's our range. So
That's the range of the test results.
Yes.
There are ones where there isn't a legal limit.
correct. And then
okay,
You're just keeping track of it because then you can watch for trending or if something changes
I understand.
within your aquifer.
So you're actually going above and beyond by measuring these because they're not required legally? Or is that incorrect?
we're still required to do the testing. There's no legal maximum contaminant level.
Okay,
That's
got it.
At this point.
at this point.
At this point, got it.
A lot of these things change over time. So, they're looking at, like, for instance, there's nothing on here on PFAS that's coming. So we'll have to report those, this report is constantly changing every year as far as what's reported and what's not.
Okay.
And it can even change seasonally.
Any other questions, clarifications, comments?
The only other thing I have is big thing that's in the news, was a PFA? Is that in this report at all?
As not in this report, we are not required right now to put that into the CCR report. We did test our water approximately just over a year ago and found that our PFAS levels were within the current required ranges. So we have not tested for them again.
Well, thank you. Anything else?
Do you need a motion or just,
Motion to
Probably a motion to put on file.
I move that we accept the consumer confidence report and put it on file.
Second,
Motion to file by Mayor Smith and seconded by Larry. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Item number 5, sanitary sewer system compliance maintenance annual report.
This is the CMAR report, the Compliance Maintenance Annual Report that the DNR requires that the city submit for their sanitary sewer system. As you can see that on the second page of the report, we did receive a letter grade of A for financial and collection. This does note that we have programs and practices in place for our sanitary sewer system that meet the requirements that are generated for the report. One thing I would note is that we did clean, does say that we cleaned 38% of our sewers last year. It's just an example of how we keep up on maintenance in our sanitary sewer system, and we have the necessary financial resources to have items fixed if we need to be. With this, the report will get filed with the DNR. We do need action on Resolution 16, 2022 to include with that submittal. So I'm requesting that we approve the resolution.
I move that we approve resolution 16-2022.
I'll second it.
Action to approve resolution 16-2022 by Mayor Smith, seconded by Karen Markart. Any discussion?
Good job, though. That's a lot of information.
I will say this is we have done for a number of years now, our CMAR has been an A. So we do perform well in our sanitary sewer maintenance.
Yeah, I just wanted to, along with what Mayor Smith was saying, the fact that you don't have a single actionable finding in water or sewer is, I think, remarkable and says a lot about you and your staff. So excellent job.
It does. It's our staff is top notch. We do a lot of maintenance items. They're proactive in their stance with the sanitary sewer and water system. We have very good people in place doing our testing, sampling, maintenance activities. But then also part of that is the commitment by our elected officials to keep up on our infrastructure. We have invested heavily in our sanitary sewer and water system within the last 30 years. And those things are showing right now. It just, we don't have a lot of sanitary, we don't have any sanitary sewer overflows, root blockages, backups into basements, things like that for the sanitary sewer system. And feel we're able to deliver quality water to our residents. So it's a combination of a variety of things that have been going very well.
Is this where you put a plug in for that camera?
That'll come in about 3 months. Working on that list right now.
Okay, so any other discussion or,
Jared, the inspections that are done, those are state inspections or are they federal?
The inspections on our sanitary sewer,
Yeah,
those are done by staff.
by staff.
Yeah, by staff.
outside
So when it
agency?
says we did however many manhole inspections are on there, staff does them.
Okay.
I think he means the report where we got the A.
Oh, the report itself comes from the Wisconsin DNR, but it's mandated by the federal government that they enforce that.
But do they do any inspecting then or not?
No. Eventually the Wisconsin DNR will review these, and there's a sanitary sewer engineer that works out of the La Crosse office that will call with questions, or if there's something going on in our system, they will come out and visit. If we have sanitary sewer overflows where our sewer system backs up into people's homes, or it comes out of the ground or onto the waterways, we have to report those. So then they would come out for those.
I thank you.
I'm assuming that a lot of these samplings are automated and are visible to anyone, like an inspector from the state or who wants to.
We document everything, all of our infrastructure work, and for the last few years now has been documented using an iPad. So we actually document everything on the GIS systems. We got data that goes back and shows inspections, shows what we looked at. If there's any pictures attached, it's a great system for evaluating our infrastructure and ensuring that repairs are made if we do find something.
Yeah, so there is capability for third-party checks as well.
Yes, correct.
Anything else? Right, we have a motion on the floor. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Item number 6, the 2022 Omni Center Roofing Project Recommendation of Award. Jared.
In your packets, we did have the notice to contractors for the bid opening that was happened this morning. We did open bids, and I did hand out the bid opening tabulation from the bid. We only did receive one bid from Seamless Roofs LLC out of Sparta, Wisconsin. They have performed work on the Omni Center before. This work will be a spray applied coating to the roof that is there currently. In the capital improvements budget for 2022, we did have $75,000 budgeted for this project. With the current state of affairs, with the way prices have been going, inputs into those costs, the bid was $87,750. We have reviewed this bid. We feel it's within what the current market is for that work. In looking at the project with Dan Wick, our Parks and Recreation Director, he did say that we have saved money on the HVAC project at the Omni Center. And we have enough savings on that project to cover the difference between the 75,000 budget and the 87,750. So between those two projects, cumulatively, we will be within budget. So
I move we award the bid to Seamless Roofs LLC in the amount of $87,750.
Second.
Motion to approve the bid by Seamless Roofs LLC by Mayor Smith, seconded by Larry Jurassic. Any questions or comments?
I just would note for the record that the difference between the budget amount and the bid amount will be made up through savings on a different project.
correct.
Anything else? Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion passes. Item number 7, 2022 Row Park Restroom Replacement Recommendation of Award. Jared.
I have handed out to you tonight. We did receive 2 bids at the bid opening today. one from Olympic Builders and one from Fowler and Hammer. We have reviewed the bids, and Olympic Builders is the apparent low bidder. They did have a math error in their bid, but the total bid did come in at the amount that was slated. So it is fine on that regard. This project actually started out in the capital improvements project as the ADA restroom access for the Rowe Park facility. We currently do not have any ADA access for a bathroom at that park. When the original estimate was done for this project, we looked at a prefabricated structure to be placed in the park, left it at that, and then budgeted the $100,000 in the capital improvement budget, which was approved in the 2022 capital improvement budget. Once we got into this project, we actually delayed it a few months. Our assistant city engineer, Kevin Schubert, was working on a couple different fronts, trying to get some design work done. Once we got into this project for not only sustainability of the project, but improvements in the park, there's a couple things that we actually added to the project. One of them was a foundation for the structure instead of putting it on a slab. That actually increased the cost $22,000, but we feel this will be the best for the long term of the restroom facility. We also added an electrical plan. The building would have to get hooked up to the electric system. In researching with the electrical system between Kevin and our building inspector, Brad Newmeister, it was found that the electrical system that is in there is probably from the 60s, 50s. I mean, it's like probably 70 years old, runs the whole park. So when we shut off the breaker, it not only shut off the restroom that's there now, it shut the park shop down. So in that, Kevin worked with a design engineer, electrical design engineer, and we included a new service for the park, various appurtenances to distribute that power. So that was a $20,000 addition to the project. The project in itself, the coordination of the project, the contractor had $10,000 in that line item that we did not have in the original cost estimate. The restroom itself, between the time it was budgeted last August, went up $10,000, just the cost of the prefabricated structure. And then just miscellaneous items, just everything that we're putting in was more expensive, as you've seen with everything else. So that is how we have now come to the $171,198 base bid that you see in front of you today. Going through this with Dan, this is an important project in the park. I feel, having the ADA access in the park is a very important thing. That's the reason it actually stayed in the capital improvement budget after much discussion. So we looked at some budgeting areas. We found that through 2020 and 2021, we have saved that we didn't save, but we did not expend $30,000 of ADA monies budgeted for ADA improvements in the parks. We feel that money can directly be attributed, this is the ADA bathroom. We feel that that is a direct attributable function for the restroom. The Gullickson tennis courts, we bid that project early this year, and there was a $30,000 savings on that project due to a reimbursement from the school district for paying for part of that work. That leaves us $60,000, which leaves us just under $12,000. We do have savings from previous capital projects from last year that we have the $12,000 in the capital improvements budget from last year to pick up the difference for this project. So with that, those three items combined, it would make up for the original budgeted amount. We would be able to fund this project at the $171,198. There's a variety of things here, just material costs, just the bidding environment right now. But we don't design the projects before we get them in the capital improvements budget. Many times we're trying to go with our best estimates at the time. And we really feel a couple of these things, the bigger ticket items here, are really going to make this a better project in the long haul. So I guess with that, Dan's here if you want to ask questions. Kevin was our lead designer on it. He he's very intimate with the design. He's spent quite a bit of time in the last 2 months working on this project, probably a lot more time than you think would go into a prefabricated building in a park. But this has been, Kevin's done a great job trying to make sure it meets all the codes and everything like that. So open for questions.
Well, obviously, there's a big 34.8% disparity in the bid cost between these two construction companies. Now, the question I have, I guess, is there a significant difference in the quality of the materials or in the warranty of the product we're receiving that would account for that? Or
I can let Kevin give a little there, but basically they bid the exact same product. They have to adhere to the specifications in the bid. 2 items stood out to me. One was the coordination for the project. One contractor bid 10,000, one bid 30,000. Probably meaning that the one contractor did not, probably in their schedule, probably did not fit real well. So they they bumped that number up. And the other one was the foundation, I think. Was that correct, Kevin? That the one contractor had another 20,000 in the foundation work.
okay.
I think the rest of it is probably just, seems like a lot, but it's spread out over the course of all the bid items, really. But those 2 items were the 2 that stuck out in my mind.
Okay, so the warranty would be the same. The quality of the materials is
Correct. And
identical or near identical.
correct. Olympic Builders has worked with the city before. They've built a couple lift stations. They built, well, more than a couple. Yeah, they built the storm lift. They built wall number 9. They've recently did the 6 and Quincy lift stations.
Okay. Mayor.
I just have a couple questions. I guess I didn't realize it was a prefab building. What is the material of that? I'm just curious.
Yeah, so Dan had researched, this is a concrete prefabricated structure. So that was one of the things in the design when we got into the nuts and bolts about it. We're going to fabricated concrete structure. We'd like a good foundation for that to sit on. So we have a 4-foot concrete foundation frost wall that got added to the project once we got into long-term stability, what's best for the city when you think 50 years from now Roe Park's going to be there. So that was one thing that got added to assist with the materials that the building will be.
And I was wondering, inside of the restroom, are there floor drains, like to make it easier for cleaning and whatnot?
Correct. Yeah, the restroom, it's almost identical. There'll be 2 rooms. They'll have all the same features of the same, a toilet, plenty of ADA access, all the grab bars, but each one does have a floor drain inside of it, and then there's a utility room in between the 2 rooms for access. That's where the plumbing will come in, a water heater, the electrical panel that would run the lights, and things like that.
Okay, thank you. I make a motion that we approve or award the bid to Olympic Builders in the amount of $171,198, with the funding to come from the $100,000, which was originally allocated for this project, $30,000 from our ADA budget, $30,000 from our reimbursement from the Gullickson courts from the school, and the additional just under $12,000 from monies remaining in the 2021 capital improvement budget.
I'll second. Okay, motion to approve the bid by by Olympic Builders, by Mayor Smith, seconded by myself. Any further discussion or questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Item number 8, City Hall backup location and facility. This is a discussion, is my understanding. Okay, Jared?
So at the last meeting, we had a discussion about backup City Hall location. We have talked about that internally with staff a little bit, have not come to any firm conclusions, but we wanted to just bring it up as an agenda item since it was discussed last month. I still believe, after talking with staff and thinking about it with staff, our public works facility could work on a short-term basis, a couple weeks. When I was thinking about it, the one thing I thought about is we've got a lot of area where we can put some of our equipment outside. If this building wasn't uninhabitable, you know, we could maybe get fire trucks in that building. We've got the right building to get those in. You know, we've got enough area where we could make some temporary office space if we had to. Our computer system is capable up there. It's connected to here. It's backed up there. So we've got a lot of IT capabilities up at that facility. We did not research any other locations. I know for a few years, we had a backup for the EOC, our Emergency Operations Center at Gunderson's campus. But then they said that during an emergency, they would need that space for that. I do believe, I think if something did happen on say a longer term basis of, you know, once you start getting into a month, 2 months, something like that, I think we'd have to probably find a temporary location on something in the city that's still, you know, something that hopefully wasn't affected by some sort of calamity that affected our city hall. So I guess that's my input, just looking for some input from the board.
Well, if it were to become something necessary for months or longer, then it's no longer a temporary solution.
Well, yeah.
So, but, yeah, no, it's several things that come into this that I think that we're gonna have to have discussions on this at multiple different committees probably over time, because it's the facility piece is obviously critical, but that's only one piece. You also need to, you know, we'd have to identify the staffing levels we'd have to go to, what our new procedures would be, identify any reduced or eliminated services on a temporary basis, things of that nature. So this is actually fairly complicated if we were to go to that. Then of course, you know, there's how do we train on it and things of that nature too, so that we can actually execute this successfully if necessary. But facility wise, yeah, I think that if we can get these other questions answered, especially, you know, what levels of staffing will that support, and you know, what types of services will be impacted, that would inform us better on whether or not the public works facility would suffice. I mean, yeah.
I think it depends on the time of year also. You know, if it's the first part of December and we're gonna have tax bills coming in, we've got a counter, but we probably don't have a facility for multiple people coming in to try and do that. Or if it's a time of voting, you know, that would be another implication possibly, but
Well, clearly your main focus will be on facilities. This is going to be a citywide issue that would involve the city administrator quite a bit to get to a final conclusion on this. So, any other discussion? Okay, item number 9. Pay estimates. I didn't have any updates, so I'm assuming they are as published in the agenda.
correct.
I'll entertain a motion.
I move that we approve the monthly pay estimates dated June 7th, 2022. There are 6 items listed there. I move we approve.
Okay, movement to approve the pay estimates dated June 7th, 2022, 6 items by Mayor Smith, seconded by Karen Market. And any discussion or questions? Larry?
Yeah, item 6, looking at the original contract and the amount due, why is it $500 difference?
We actually deleted a tree and then moved one tree and added a tree. So I believe that's correct, Kevin.
Yeah, correct. As part of this year's tree planting was, there was a few portions, some city parks, a few trees in the cemetery, but a majority of the costs here were to fill citizens' requests. And we had one late request come in after we received the proposal. So that's what the difference is. We added one tree for a citizen's request to fill. The contractor could still acquire the tree in the order that they were getting. And we moved forward with filling that one request. And that's what the difference.
Did you make an amendment to the contract then to change it or not?
Do we need an amendment?
No,
not-
Estimates before us.
Yeah, so we do have $25,000 budgeted, so we got monies budgeted, and if it's not, if we deem that it's not an administrative change, we'd bring it in for change order. So, but this is small enough that we deemed it an administrative change, so we did it administratively.
Okay.
But if we have a change, it's either changes, let's say, construction schedules as far as completion dates, or it is a financial difference in the contract that we feel is more than administrative, we'll bring it forward in actual change order by the Board of Public Works.
Thank you.
Any other comments, concerns, questions?
No, but that was a good question.
Oh, absolutely. Okay, so we have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. That concludes the Public Works portion of this meeting. We now move on to utilities, which is item number 10, no report. Which brings us on to item number 11. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
I don't know why that was such a delay. Right, motion to adjourn by Karen Markart and seconded by Larry Jurassic. Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. We are adjourned. Time is 7:02.